Ah, shit. Here we go again.
The YouTube channel 𝙒𝙊𝙉𝙉 broke a 2-year silence on October 31st, 2024, with the release of their brand new TF2 horror ARG series, the Serverblight, also known as the Empty Server. The eerie new series marks the beginning of a part-time project where they follow TF2 players on gaming servers, only to encounter something unnatural. The entity known as the Serverblight lurks within these empty servers, creating a chilling experience unlike anything they've done before. Despite their slow upload schedule, 𝙒𝙊𝙉𝙉 have consistently delivered TF2 gameplay compilations, edits, and funny moments, much like many other channels. However, the Serverblight takes their content in a new, darker direction. The series is brought to life by two talented creators. 𝙁𝙊𝙉𝙉 is responsible for scriptwriting, directing, animating, and editing all their projects, while possibly Lino composes the music, designs, posters, and thumbnails, and even assists the animation. Before diving into my video, I strongly recommend watching the Serverblight series first, but with that said, let's get straight into the explanation of this brand new TF2 horror series. Intricate lab, yes. Here is my response to your American brain. I don't care, okay? The drama, I don't give a 10 or 20 shits, okay? But here is my sorry. Yes, I took the script and I took the episode scenes from your video, of course. I liked those screens and I was trying at first to make them, but I couldn't find any more cooler because I liked yours. So that's why I changed the color, the gradation, the gradient, and the text that you had. But after episode 2, I just took and wrote my own episode 3 and episode 4, of course, the other ones, the new ones. But yes, I am sorry. Let's just take the drama down because I don't care about drama, okay? The drama is gone. I don't care about the drama. The Serverblight series by the YouTube channel 𝙒𝙊𝙉𝙉 is haunting and imaginative exploration of horror within the Team Fortress 2 universe. The video employs source filmmaker SFM to blend TF2's distinct aesthetic with eerie storytelling, creating an experience that is equal parts nostalgic and unsettling. At its core, Serverblight examines this concept of corrupted servers and the malevolent entities that inhabit them, building a chilling narrative around the idea that the game world itself can turn against its players. The story begins with our protagonist, 𝙒𝙊𝙉𝙉, loading into a standard Team Fortress 2 payload match on Thunder Mountain. Judging by his extensive playtime, over 1,800 hours, he is a seasoned veteran, likely with even more time spent on fan servers. Surprisingly, he selects Sniper, his least played class. After spawning in, he greets the chat with a friendly "What's up, chat?", but it's immediately met with a toxic "Kill yourself" response. Shrugging it off, he labels the player as rude and move on. As 𝙒𝙊𝙉𝙉 exits the spawn area, he notices an eerie silence. The usually chaotic battlefield is unnervingly still. Confused, he glances around, searching for signs of movement. Then a red spy decloaks behind him, only to wordlessly leap off the edge of the map. Instantly, the spy disconnects from the server. 𝙒𝙊𝙉 chuckles at this bizarre moment, but the laughter quickly fades as another player, a scout, appears. The scout moves in a straight, unnatural line, his behavior off-putting. 𝙒𝙊𝙉 lines up a shot, but misses. The scout responds with a subtle nod, almost pleading to be taken down. Perplexed, but willing to comply, 𝙒𝙊𝙉 takes the shot, dropping the scout, yet the body doesn't despawn. Unlike normal gameplay, the corpse remains motionless, never disappearing from the map. sense of unease depends. The video progresses, initially maintaining a familiar in-game atmosphere before gradually unraveling into something far more sinister. The server begins displaying strange behavior, minor glitches, escalating into nightmarish descent. In-game characters start behaving erratically, as tough as possessed by something beyond normal AI or player control. 𝙁𝙊𝙉𝙉 momentarily distracted spots an engineer in the distance, standing completely still in a posture that no human player would naturally assume. Furious, he approaches. The engineer's presence is unsettling, his movements stiff and unnatural. Then, in a low, almost mechanical tone, he speaks. End it. End your life. 𝙁𝙊𝙉𝙉 hesitates, unnerved. He types in chat asking why the engineer is moving so strangely. No answer, just repetition. End it. End your own life. The words become more insistent, more demanding. Then suddenly the engineer's expression shifts to one of fear, his eyes darting past 𝙁𝙁𝙉𝙉. Leave while you still can. Before 𝙁𝙁𝙉𝙉 can react, the engineer turns and flees. Confused, he follows the man's gaze, only to see something horrific. A figure stands in the doorway. A heavy, but wrong heavy. The heavy's arm is the only thing visible at first, his posture unnervingly rigid. Then he steps forward. His model is disordered, unnatural. His hand has six fingers. His voice is deep, muffled, and almost incomprehensible. Nothing like the default's heavy voice lines. From this moment, the game fully unravels into chaos. Server's realities distorts as 𝙁𝙁𝙉𝙉 finds the engineer again, now dead. Blood on the walls spells out chilling message, don't let it take you alive. Panic sets in and 𝙁𝙁𝙉𝙉 flees, triggering a rapid sequence of disturbing imagery. The entity pursues him, moving with unnatural speed. Its form consistently shifting. It is not just the heavy anymore. It is an amalgamation of all 9 TF2 classes, stitched together into something truly monstrous. The grotesque creature, its animation, glitched and broken. 𝙁𝙁𝙉𝙉 reaches the editor of the map. With no other escape, he jumps off and disconnects from the game. The video ends on an unsettling note. A final distorted glimpse of the entity before the screen cuts to black. The horror elements in this concept share similarities. The Serverblight bears an eerie resemblance to the corrupted scout from MSS Blue, in my opinion. The same concept by the YouTuber 𝙁𝙊𝙉𝙉 and SFM horror series by 𝙁𝙁𝙉𝙉, which explores themes of torment and revenge within the TF2 universe. The unnerving entity also bears resemblance to the creatures from Pig Kills Reality, VHS-style anomaly videos where players find themselves haunted by sentient, corrupted versions of TF2 characters. Subtle yet terrifying details, such as dead players remaining in the game, the entity obeying TF2 physics, and the cryptic warning message, heighten the unease, turning what starts as a familiar game session into an existential nightmare. Episode 2, Migration. The episode picks up right where the last one left off. In the game chat log, we see the final message from the sniper antagonist before they disconnect. A moment of silence follows, then a new player joins the fray, an engineer named 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙇. He surveys the battlefield, making his way to the nearest capture point. As Johnny begins setting up a sentry gun, he notices something strange. The player 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙀 writing the same message over and over again, which says, "I'm having so much fun." But wait, didn't he die? He still appears active in the server chat. Johnny only writes back, "Good for you," and shrugged it off as he continues to protect the capture point. The chat log reflects growing unease among Johnny. Some speculate it's just a glitch, while others express alarm at the strange behavior unfolding. Johnny tries to focus on his task, reinforcing his sentry. Then, squish. A faint, wet noise reaches his ears. He stops, listens, squish. Closer this time. Johnny is in the confusion of what this noise, which curiosity makes him find where and what this squish sound really is. A new message floods the chat from 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙀. "I'm having so much fun." Over and over. No pause, no variation, just the same unsettling phrase, repeating at rapid intervals. Johnny pulls out his shotgun, just to be ready for whatever pops out on him. Something isn't right. He steps away from his sentry, cautiously heading towards the sound. The further he walks, the more distorted an environment feels. Textures flicker, shadows stretch unnaturally. He rounds a corner and stops, dead in the tracks. There, lying on the ground, is 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙀, the very same engineer who died last episode. But he's not dead. He's slamming his head into the ground, over and over, the movements stiff, robotic. His entire body trembles unnaturally as if puppet with tangled strings. The camera zooms in. His face contorts, mouth frozen mid-sentence. His chat message, "I'm having so much fun," continues to spam, but his lips don't move. Johnny instinctively takes a step back. Then it happens. From the darkness beyond the engineer, something shifts, something massive. The shadows churn and twist. Then the Serverblight erupts into the view, its grotesque, brightening form spilling into the stairwell like a corrupted mass of code, the very entity from the last episode. Johnny barely has time to react before it lunges. With a burst of panic, Johnny hits the disconnect button, the game screen fades black, a sigh of relief. He made it out. Something is wrong. The way he disconnected, it wasn't like a player panicking, running, jumping off a ledge. No, he just disconnected, like it was the most normal thing in the world. And then, Serverblight has also left the game. A final message lingers in the chat. "Thank you." The screen flickers. The episode ends. To be continued. After an unknown time invading other near-empty servers, the Serverblight assimilated 4 more players into itself: 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙇, TNT Prince, and 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙇. As it turns out, when the Serverblight let him leave, it managed to touch his leg, allowing it to follow and immediately start assimilating him. Of its new victim, Johnny Danny 12 was kept partially assimilated in the same manner as 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙉𝙍, still liquid but driven to despair, his mind tortured by the Serverblight. Eventually, the Serverblight joined a Snowy Coast community server that had just emptied to just 4 players following an intense red victory. The Serverblight joined the red team, quickly assimilating the only red players, Demoman 𝙁𝙊𝙉𝙁𝙁,
and it turns out that on blue team was none other than 𝙁𝙊𝙁𝙁, real name Aaron, now a soldier who was playing with his friend 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁, medic, real name Matt, the Serverblight having possibly purposely tracked 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁.
𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 quickly recognized the Serverblight due to seeing 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙉 name in the joining message and tried to insist to 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 that they had to leave, but the pair quickly found themselves unable to disconnect or killbind. 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁, thinking the Serverblight was just a team of hackers, then convinced 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 to fight, and the pair headed out alongside an inexperienced blue heavy 𝙁𝙊𝙉𝙁𝙁 96 to kill the Serverblight.
Bitch tells me KYS? Fucking pyromanes. Aaron? Go soldier. We're gonna carry this team to victory.
Move out!
Let's go. Let's go, fuck 'em up.
Victory!
What's your deal with casual, man? Aaron? You good? Let's fuck this guy up.
Yes!
Yo, Heavy, you with us? Idiot.
The Serverblight remained hidden while the blue team members advanced the car to down the empty server, opening pathways to reach the last point. The Serverblight proceeds to split its component mercs off to take on the players from several angles. 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 followed a scout that is called Directions, and I was lured into tricking him, becoming one with the Serverblight. You can kinda say it like this: 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 followed Scout, the Scout infected him, but he killed the Scout off-screen with his saw. But with that off-screen media, made 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 into a Serverblight victim that will later affect someone else.
Yeah, we should. I'm getting that Uber. What? Yeah, that's...
Later, after capturing another point, 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 saw Directions, the Scout, very much alive, but now in a more distorted, quadruped form, skittering by a tunnel like a beast. 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 was unnerved, but immediately let it go to follow 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 and checking on Scumbag Master 96, who had been separated from the pair since the start.
Aaron?
Scuba Master 96 soon came across a Serverblight component, possibly Directions, and fired 2 shots at it before infecting him. Scuba Master 96 stood still as he was quickly assimilated, starting to repeat We go together, Doctor. In the chat, as 𝙒𝙊𝙁 and 𝙁𝙀𝙀 reached him, Creepypasta 96 then dropped his shotgun and revealed an arm growing out of his mouth, still repeating his chat messages, which quickly changed to denote him as dead as he was fully assimilated.
Yo, Heavy!
Now, a part of the Serverblight, Creepypasta 96 started screaming for help while charging at the soldier and medic. He had his arm and fingers stretching and disturbing. However, just as it cornered the pair against the wall, 𝙒𝙊𝙁 called a vote kick on Creepypasta 96, banishing the component from the server. The pair then took off running, 𝙒𝙊𝙁 ordering 𝙁𝙀𝙀 to forget any fighting to just throw himself into a pit and escape. The two soon came across the assimilated 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙇, slamming his head into a post repeatedly, but 𝙒𝙊𝙁 recognized it as a bait and took a detour with 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀. Then the pair came across the partially assimilated 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀 who was laying shivering in the snow. His left leg, eventually the one the Serverblight touched, distorted and stretched under the door of a nearby red respawn room, connecting him to the main mass of the Serverblight. 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀, tormented and thinking he was dead, asked, "Why? Even what's it called?" 𝙒𝙊𝙁, deeply saddened by the young player's fate, drew his shotgun to put Johnny Dandy out of his misery. But just before he could fire, the Serverblight burst out of the respawn room, roaring at 𝙒𝙊𝙁. 𝙒𝙊𝙁 and 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀 thus ran away, firing a few shots into the main mass and leaving Johnny Dandy 12 behind. They were then chased by the now disordered 𝙂𝙀𝙀𝙀, only for 𝙒𝙊𝙁 to blast 𝙂𝙀𝙀𝙀 with his direct hit, blowing the demo man apart. Unseen by 𝙒𝙊𝙁, 𝙂𝙀𝙀𝙀's gibs slid away behind him. Regrouping near the end of the map, 𝙒𝙊𝙁, now almost fully sucked into the game, tells now 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀 who 𝙁𝙊𝙀𝙀 really is and why he is connected to the Serverblight. Realized that Johnny Dandy 12 was used as bait, explaining to 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀 what the Serverblight was and how 𝙒𝙊𝙁 figured out that it's learning. 𝙒𝙊𝙁 then realized that the Serverblight was only capable of repeating voice lines it heard, and in turn realized that to each point he made, 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀 replied with "what" in the exact same tone, which was a repeat of something he said when the Serverblight first joined. Additionally, it turns out that everything 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀 has said on the mic after fighting 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀 was just spliced repeats of his previous lines, and he had acted far too calm around the disordered monstrosities. 𝙒𝙊𝙁 then turned to confirm his worst fears, seeing 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀's voice chat icon misaligned with his character model. Presumably, he was infected during the melee exchange with directions, and was gradually overtaken by the entity since, as he had shown visible fear while being attacked by Creepypasta 96 and acted as 𝙒𝙊𝙁 ally up until that moment. Now, however, there was nothing left on Matt, only the Serverblight in his model. Seeing that its cover was blown, the assimilated 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀 dropped the medigun and began to distort, stretching its arms and fingers out. A hand came out of his mouth, using 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀's distorted voice to call 𝙒𝙊𝙁 by name. Horrified and distraught, 𝙒𝙊𝙁 fled, chased by 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀, who was just joined by the assimilated red pyro and demo man. The Serverblight using 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀's warped voice to declare that there was no leaving. However, Just before it stretched out its fingers to reach 𝘿𝙊𝙉𝙉, 𝘿𝙊𝙉 rocket jumped into the UFO pit, dying to the instant death zone and sending a final message of apology to his assimilated friend before being disconnected, escaping once more. The Serverblight howled in rage as assimilated 𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 remained on the edge of the pit, its other components running off and disturbing further. Serverblight then retracted 𝙁𝙁𝙁's distortions, returning the medic to a normal appearance. Through 𝙁𝙁𝙁, the Serverblight stared across the pit as a series of new players, Headshots Thruster, I Work at Subway, That Chernobyl Guy, joined the server, making it smile in anticipation of new prey to assimilate.
What? What? What?
The video started with a player's POV of what they think, their thoughts, his story of what he has experienced. He doesn't remember anything, only that he was safe at home But now he is stuck in an unreality form of himself that is not really him. When he screams, we can already hear his voice is the same as the Serverblight entity, and we already understand he is also infected with the virus. The feelings of the player's POV is already really understandable. It's soft, everything around him doesn't feel right. He now understands why nobody can hear him, why everything feels wrong. His own body, there's something wrong with himself. His right hand is too far away from him, his left hand is on the wrong side of his body. A weird, ugly sound of a groan sound. He now understands he is laying under a pile of bodies, or inside of a pile of bodies, and that the hand coming out of the mouth, just like the entity, is also inside of the player's POV. Player is explaining every single thing detailed. He is attached to the entity, and that his mind is still intact, but he can't control anything of his own will. His shoulders are too broad. His body can't move, not with his own will. Hold breath on his left palm, feeling a sense, is still intact, but he is one with his Serverblight entity. He is trapped inside of the entity. His body is inside of it, with the light coming through the wall of the entity. He can see everything on inside. All the other players, all those stretched bones, fingers, the bent necks, the legs, the torsos on the other side. The players can feel its body being stretched as the entity is moving and changing its own form. The players is forming himself the way the entity wants itself to move. He's being rebuilt according to the Serverblight. This far into the video, we can spot all the former players like Heavy, the hunter from the episode Empty Server, the scout that got shot in the head, and the medic from this recent episode Serverblight. The voices from the Serverblight sounds like nonsense, and just muffled voices. When it's actually players screaming for help, the player feels the entity making him do stuff he doesn't feel like doing. But in the same gaze, for the entity smirks as his will is only his own will. Then it cuts to the ending to the previous episodes. Serverblight with the entity leaving the game, server, and all the listed names. So basically, what is this creepypasta? And why is this connected with the Serverblight? Even though it is, basically the video is a horrifying experience of what it feels like to be inside of the Serverblight. Every player that has failed to disconnect and that is connected to the entity is still alive and active, but they don't got a mind of their own. They can only see, feel, hear, and understand, while the Serverblight has taken full control over their bodies, using each player's body to grow bigger in mass and stretch itself longer and gain more control. Every time the antagonist of this creepypasta tells us that he is experiencing inside of an entity, he can see things happening on the inside. He sees all cursed things and all the new players that joins inside of the mass of the Serverblight. The video starts off as any other normal TF2 casual matches. Players from both teams shooting at each other. The video transitioned to go through the hallways to get to our player's POV. The player's POV, instead of just seeing just the game character POV and what they feel about the Serverblight, we get to the player outside of the game, on the computer. Just from seeing this, I already understand that this video is supposed to show us how much of an affection the Serverblight really is, not just the game, but also the outside world, where humans live too. As the gameplay continues off, the real human player can hear a growl just like a Serverblight in the back of his room, as if he's not alone. Just by that, he dies in the game, and our player's game and possibly a nickname for his human is called 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙁. So, 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 shrugs off the sound of the growl and continues to play the game. 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 goes to the corner hiding, and something feels off, something is clearly wrong. just like the player in-game saying this is weird. Another louder growl can be heard, but 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀, the human, turns around, but he also turns his spy game character around too. A sniper is standing behind him, looking just at the spy, as in, can the sniper see him, or is it just an AFK player standing there? 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 moves away from the spot to make sure he isn't caught, and once again checks behind himself to see what the growling noise was. Once again, nothing there. Continues the game, killing a medic. We get a blurred shot scene of 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀, the human, looking at his own hand, seemingly being the spy's hand instead of his own. But once he blinks, he is back to normal. This goes into an interdimensional reality of the TF2 game coming to life. And the Serverblight infection isn't just a glitch or any other virus, but a living nightmare that can alter itself out of the game reality and come to real life. 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 is now thinking, as in, when he said a sentence in real life, it's also being said inside of the TF2 game. The Serverblight touches 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 in the outside world, and now it's being clear that 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 is not in his world anymore. He's inside of a reality through the game. 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 writes a message in chat and now runs back to the first capture flag, to where all the game characters we saw from before is now just looking at him. The same sentence from the darkened Crowsurfer saying this is weird. And we get a short glimpse of both the game and the Serverblight standing behind 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 in real life. He tries to move in-game, the other players watches him, he runs away, and now the other players are following him. And now, the former soldier that 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 was looking at before has now turned into one like the Serverblight. Charges towards him, 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 takes the chances to run away, get a space, and tries to disconnect from the game. But that won't work. 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 in the real world now looks to his left just to see himself in the same tunnel, just like in the TF2 game. 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 got to act fast, now not to get taken by the other players, by trying to take over the capture point that might work. He's blocked by a very long finger by a really big hand. The spy and 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 is now shocked to seeing this. The heavy that is infected is the same one from episode 3 that was the first one on the blue team that was later charging towards both 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 and 𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀. Now it's towards the end. The Serverblight and his minions is now coming from each angle, ready to take 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 together with his consumption by both the spy characters and 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 is now one with the Serverblight, with an ending of 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 in real life laying lifeless in his chair. The brilliance of Serverblight lies in its refusal to provide clear answers. By leaving key elements ambiguous, the creators allow viewers to engage deeply with the story, crafting their own interpretations and theories. Whether it is critiques or technology, a metaphor for mental health, or simply a masterclass in digital horror, Serverblight continues to captivate and unsettle its audience. I'm having so much fun. See you all on the other side. Bye bye.